When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing his punches, combinations, and it just showed that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can. This is looking to be a very explosive fight, one that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Nice one, thank you. He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
At a fiery press event for his upcoming fight, boxing icon Manny Pacquiao delivered a chilling statement that silenced the crowd and put Mario Barrios directly in the spotlight. The 8-division champ, famous for his lightning speed and humble nature, stepped out of his usual calm persona and warned Barrios with fiery intent. As photographers captured every moment and anticipation rose, Pacquiao sent a clear message. This isn't just another match, it's personal. For those thinking Pacquiao's past his prime, his intensity at the mic told a different story. He's not coming back for show. He's coming with fire and unfinished business.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything's good.
All right, so
Good, man.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back, Dustin. For a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champ.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's always active. So he's always staying active, he's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio, so no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, I'm not surprised. So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win?
Diaz beat, different Diaz, I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's decision to step back into the ring after a 4-year break has sparked major excitement. His intense press conference only fueled interest, especially after issuing a bold message to WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios. At 46, the boxing legend still carries power and speed. On July 19, 2025, they'll battle at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Ben maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Ben fight. Conor Ben, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. And people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Ben is Boots. But he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has restarted training with legendary coach Freddie Roach. Despite worries over his age and ring rust, he's been showing flashes of his past brilliance. Footage reveals moments of vintage Pacquiao. Still, fans and analysts remain divided. Can he truly compete again at the highest level after spending years away from professional boxing's toughest challenges? New clips out of LA show Pacquiao speaking with quiet confidence as he prepares mentally and physically. He reflected on the weight of being a public figure and how past losses taught him to grow. His mood was serious, yet hopeful. Training. Videos show him moving sharply and landing fast combinations. But the fight's approval hasn't come without debate. Critics argue that Pacquiao's age and absence should have disqualified him from a title shot. His number 5 welterweight ranking from the WBC also raised concerns. Many are now questioning both the fairness of his placement and the risk tied to this bout.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, stuff, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no, you know.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when discussing Pacquiao's return against Mario Barrios. He claimed that if this matchup had happened years ago, Pacquiao would have destroyed Barrios easily. But today, Hackett sees a different Pacquiao. Older, slower, and not as ruthless. At 45, expecting the same deadly speed and endurance isn't realistic. Hackett believes this isn't about greatness, it's about making money. To him, this isn't two elite fighters in their prime. It's a business arrangement dressed up, like a major event. He called it entertainment, not elite-level competition, and questioned whether it's truly fair to either fighter involved.
I mean, but Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might try and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on. Yeah. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like this. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans want to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a die-hard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You, Stanionis, you, Boobs, you, Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money, and you want to do great things.
Tim Bradley shared a similar view, claiming the fight seems more about money than honor. In his opinion, retired fighters often return because of financial reasons, not legacy. Although the WBC title is technically at stake, he doubts that's what really brought Pacquiao back. Barrios, younger and more active, is seen as the guy to test how far Pacquiao has slipped. Bradley even warned that Barrios might end things early. He questioned whether Pacquiao should even be fighting anymore, saying the sport may have already moved on from one of its biggest legends.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. 1, 2. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well. Can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. if Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Oscar De La Hoya, on the other hand, is standing behind Pacquiao's decision to fight again. He says that even in his 40s, Pacquiao's determination, experience, and fighting spirit give him a real shot. De La Hoya doesn't think age alone should be the focus. He argues that someone with Pacquiao's background and knowledge can't be dismissed easily. For him, this isn't about nostalgia. It's about what Pacquiao still brings to the ring. He believes Mario Barrios is walking into the ring with someone who may be older, but is still dangerous and smart enough to win big.
I wish him all the best.
Cuadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Cuadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Mario Barrios has kept a level head ahead of the fight, showing quiet confidence. He's made it clear he respects what Pacquiao's done, but isn't backing down. He's ready to use his youth, size, and strategy to take control from the opening bell. Barrios insists this isn't about collecting a check. It's about beating a legend. This is the biggest moment of his career, and he knows it. If he wins, he adds one of boxing's biggest names to his list and proves he belongs on the world stage.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
You know, it showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed me that, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Teddy Atlas isn't convinced that Mario Barrios' height and reach will actually give him the edge. While Barrios does have a bigger frame, Atlas pointed out that he only moved up to welterweight recently because making 140 pounds had become too hard. Atlas doubts those physical advantages will truly matter. He thinks fans expecting a one-sided fight could be surprised. Pacquiao, despite retiring in 2021, might still have enough left to make this interesting. Atlas believes Barrios' supposed size edge might be more illusion than advantage, meaning this clash could be much more evenly matched than people realize.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights, so start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios, so he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. Look what he did to this horse. But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up? Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him. Maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
EBC President Mauricio Sulaiman confirmed all rules were followed for Pacquiao to challenge for the title. However, buzz is building that this fight may be a stepping stone. Many believe if Pacquiao wins, he's setting the stage for a super fight with Gervonta Davis. Critics argue Barrios might have been chosen because he's more beatable. A win could help Pacquiao create hype and momentum. It's possible this isn't about proving himself against the best, but about staging one last money-making blockbuster. The idea is to reintroduce Pacquiao with a win before launching into a headline-grabbing showdown with Tank Davis.
The WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman has said
Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao defeats Barrios, a clash with Gervonta Davis could turn into a global mega fight. 2 powerful southpaws with loyal fans would guarantee fireworks. Pacquiao's return brings emotion too. He's chasing the WBC belt that launched his stardom. Years ago, he won his first title at flyweight. Now he's looking to end his legendary journey as a welterweight champ. For him, this isn't just another belt. It's about completing the circle. This fight isn't only competitive, it's personal. Pacquiao is fighting with history behind him, and the hunger to end his career exactly where it began, with the WBC around his waist.
Dr. News told Onto Your Gloves boxing fans, the rumors are true, Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker, Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
We want your take. Drop a comment and get involved.